Hi, I'm not winning against technology today, I have to say. So I was on earlier on the live explaining all about soda ash, and I think I did say some amazing things, but I've lost all of that because my phone storage is very full. So unfortunately, I had to abandon trying to film with my phone and come live because everything is going to go online straight away. Right, okay, so if you've not seen the previous video, I'm talking about soda ash on African black soap. And this is how soda ash on soap looks like. It's a white powder that forms on your handmade soap. This is something that can occur with either hot process or cold process soap, and it's entirely fine. Usually when people see soda ash on their soaps, they think that the soap is completely gone off and the soap cannot be used. This is inaccurate. Soda ash doesn't affect how effective your soap is as long as you've made your soap with a good formula that would degrease and also wash off dirt or cleanse for you. As long as your recipe is accurate, then soda ash is not going to change that. Soda ash is something that forms naturally. It's basically when carbon dioxide interacts with any free lye that's left in your soap. When I say free lye, I don't want anyone to panic. Now, when we make soap, your oil, water, and lye, which in the case of African black soap, this would be potash, all these three would come together and saponify. Saponify basically means that they merge together and they create the soap, right? So if the ratios are not exact, then sometimes you can have some free lye left in the soap. This free lye is not going to kill anybody, it's not going to cause any problems. Sometimes when you leave your soap curing, that free lye would eventually completely saponify. So me making a reference to free lye is something that shouldn't panic you at all. So the free lye that is in your soap would interact with carbon dioxide, and this is what would cause the soda ash to form. I've had a few people contact me, either people who would buy black soap to use at home or people who sell black soap. They'll buy black soap in bulk, and then after a few weeks their soap would develop soda ash. And for some people, they contact me too late. They would contact me only after they've gotten rid of the soap. But when people contact me and they've not gotten rid of the soap, I always say to them, don't panic. You don't even need to rebatch the soap. Rebatching, if you're not familiar with what rebatching is basically melting down your soap and remolding it and cutting it all over again. You don't even need to do that. It's incredibly easy to clean soda ash from your soap. Sometimes soda ash would only appear on just the surface of your soap, whereas sometimes, in very rare circumstances, oh my goodness, my battery, I've just had a warning that my battery is low. So I hope I can say everything I need to say before my battery goes off. Right, okay, so sometimes soda ash would only be on just the surface of your soap, right? And sometimes it can actually penetrate into the soap, but that is very rare. It hardly happens that soda ash would appear deep inside your soap unless there's any cracks in your soap. Right, what else did I want to mention? Okay, so what kind of environment causes soda ash to occur? As you can see, I made this soap on Thursday, last Thursday, and today is Monday. And the my workshop is a bit cold at the moment. It's April, no, we're in March. I'm in a rush to finish 2021 already. So it's March and it's kind of spring weather, so it is a bit cold. One thing I've noticed over the years with black soap developing soda ash is when it's kept in a warm environment, you're fine. I've never had soda ash form on my soap in heat, but when it's a bit cold or there's some condensation in whatever workspace you use, that's when soda ash forms. So as you can see, I have some of the soaps are wrapped should be airtight, but I did leave a little bit of gap. So when they're airtight, they do not develop any ash. Oh, okay, that's not airtight, unfortunately. That's got gaps. I thought that was airtight. I need to find one that's airtight. That's not airtight. Okay, right. So if you look at this soap, for instance, it's airtight everywhere, but the exposed part, let me hold it in a way that you can see. The exposed, there's a bit of a gap here in the packaging. So the exposed part, which lets in carbon dioxide, is the only part of the soap. I'm just holding it back so you can see what I'm describing. So the exposed part of the packaging is the only part of the soap that there is soda ash. Whereas if you look at the parts that is airtight, there is no soda ash at all. So a good thing to do when you cut your soaps and you're not ready to repackage it straight away would be to cover your soaps with blanket. A blanket would hold heat in and it would encourage the soap to remain at a warm temperature, and this would avoid the soap, the lye in your soap coming in contact with carbon dioxide, and we get this chemical reaction. A way to clean this is you can use, I did this when I was trying to record with my phone earlier on. So let me grab another. So this is baby wipes. It's very, very wet. Ideally, when I'm wiping my soaps, I would usually use a damp towel rather than wet baby wipes, but to reduce me having to go off camera and get things done, I'm just using baby wipes, which is close to hand. So all you do is you use your damp towel to wipe like that, and the soda ash is going to dissolve. Right, so once you've wiped, you would use, because the baby wipe is full of water, it's created some lather. So you'd have to pretend you didn't see that. Right, so use a dry towel to dry all of that, and look, voila. This is not white completely, but voila. If you remember how this soap looked, it had soda ash all over it, right? And with a wee bit of water, we can wipe all of that soda ash off. So there we are, wipe off, and your soap looks presentable, because the only way that soda ash affects your soap is that it makes it look unpresentable. But when you wipe it, it looks presentable again, right? Okay. So this is all there is to know about soda ash. It's nothing to panic over. It doesn't render your soap not usable. If anything, it actually enhances how your soap performs, because like I did say, it does help with degreasing. What else did I put down here to discuss? Right, another thing you can do is you can spray your soap with IPA, which is isopropyl alcohol. That stops soda ash forming. So maybe when you cut your soaps, if you keep your soaps in an environment that gets a bit condensed, then you can spray it with alcohol and leave it, and whenever you're ready, you go back and you package your soaps. When the soda ash has occurred, you can spray the soaps still with IPA or any type of alcohol, and then wipe with alcohol instead of water. It's entirely up to you. You can also use an electric steamer. This is the steamer for ironing. You can steam your soaps, and that would help to get rid of any soda ash that forms. Please bear with me. Bless me, oh dear. My goodness. Because my battery is running, I'm rushing, and it's hard for me to grab a tissue. So you have to bear with me. Let's just erase that image of me sneezing into my arm from our minds. Right, so keep your soap in a warm environment. Cover your soaps with the blanket. You can spray your soap with IPA, and you can wipe it off. You can also, I'm not sure if I mentioned in this video or when I was trying to record before, but you can also use nylon tights. You can use nylon to wipe. When you use nylon, you do not need to make it damp. You can just use it dry although that is a process that I find a bit tedious. It's hard. I've done that before years ago, and it's a lot of work. Right. Okay, so I think I've mentioned all the core things that you need to know. That one, soda ash is nothing dangerous. It doesn't render your soap not usable. It doesn't affect how your soap performs. And two, how to clean off soda ash from your your soap. Right. Okay, so I'm going to end here, and I'll do another video covering another topic. If you guys send me any questions that you have with regards to African black soap or soap making in general. All right, thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time. This is Ya from Ghana Soap School and Siam Spa. Oh dear, I can't seem to end my session. I hope it saves.